Hi there. My name is Buck Baskin. I'm an instructional technology specialist in Sunnyvale ISD, but I've also, I guess, become a self-published author as well through digital publishing and also actually paperback version as well, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Um, but also I've had the opportunity through my role to take what I've learned and done and also see it applied in the classroom. So I kind of want to do a brief little thing, hopefully showing you how you can also be a self-published author, but also how I think if you are a classroom teacher, how this could be a great project for your classroom. And so I'll try to do the as brief as I can, but I've also you're more than welcome to contact me if you have questions, and I would love to help out just in any way that I can. Let's kind of get into this really quick. So I'm going to start with just some mindsets to help you realize how you, and like I said as well, your students can be published authors, and hopefully get over some of the hurdles that keep people in the way. First thing is trust me, I'm an expert. You really need to think through this. So the word expert has changed a little bit. Um, to be honest, it's real easy to put yourself out there as an expert. I can tell you that I wrote articles for a while just to rank my websites, and I would get contacted by professors to say, "Hey, someone." You know, used you as a source in a paper, and I just want to know a little bit more about you. And granted, that's not exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you need to be fake, because honestly, those articles, while they were not bad, I wouldn't say I was necessarily an expert in some of the topics that I was writing about. It was for a different purpose. But you can see by writing well and publicizing it well, people took it as I was an expert. So for one, I want you to know if you do write something and put it out there, you may think, well, no one's going to want to read this. No one wants to hear from me. You'll be surprised if you write, if you package it well, you promote it well, that can happen. But the other thing is you are an expert in something. There's something that you know that someone else does not know and just needs and hasn't taken the time to do themselves. And granted, they could probably do it themselves or find the information somewhere else, but they haven't. And so you are an expert in something. So think about that. Think about what skill or knowledge you have that someone else doesn't know, and then apply that. One of the examples I use with students is Pokemon. Okay, I do not understand Pokemon, nor do I like it, but a lot of kids do. And so I talked about, they could write the Pokemon guide for parents. And so it can be something simple like that, which is the other thing about this is that with being an expert, this doesn't have to be a big idea. It doesn't have to be a whole novel, especially with ebook formats. It can be a simple guide, can be fairly short even, and you can do that. And so think about those things. You are an expert in something. You have information and knowledge that someone else needs, and you could share that. So if you're like I said, you're an expert in something, or if you're teaching a class and it's a core content class of some kind, be that math, science, you can take what you're teaching, or your students can take what they're learning and package that, share that, write that, publish that. And I promise you, there will be people out there who will want to read it. Now, for some of you, though, you were like not necessarily into thinking about expert. Your hurdle is going, well, I feel like that story's already been told, but it doesn't really matter. And so I want to use this example of Ants in a Bug Life. Let's say, for example, you've got this, idea for, let's say, or your kids do for another teen romance novel. And they're like, well, that's already been written. We have, um, the vampire one. I'm drawing a blank right now. I don't read fiction if you can't tell. But you think through, well, there's so many, all those are out there, but you can still find some different spin on it, some different way, some different angle. So there's always new ones out there. So for example, Ants in a Bug Life, these movies came out almost simultaneously. There's actually a great story behind it. It's in the Steve Jobs biography, but I'm going to save time and not share it with you, as hard as it is for me. But very similar movies came out about the same time, but both got released, both got watched, both were very popular. And you see this in movies all the time, and it's the same thing in books. So just because maybe that genre or kind of topic or idea has been already out there doesn't mean that you can't write it, put your own spin on it, and still have people read it. And so I just kind of wanted you to know that. So Again, believe you're an expert. Get some confidence for yourself or for your students that there is something you can write and share that people will read if you publicize it and package it well. And then also to know that just because it's been written before in some form or fashion. So, for example, with some students, we had them do a collection of poetry. There's lots of collections of poetry out there, but we were able to kind of put a unique spin on it. Again, there's a student project, and there's some artwork with it, and so we were able to do that, publicize it, sell it, and do things like that. Um, and so you have those options, and you can do those things. Um, so I want to get kind of into the nuts and bolts of the process. Now, this first part, and really, and probably other things, it's some of my opinion, but it's what I have done and I have found to be the best through doing research, looking at a lot of different options. So I want to encourage you to publish through Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. Again, if you need some more details on this, I'm happy to help and show you, but I didn't want to make this video any longer than I had to. So here's a couple reasons. Amazon allows you to publish in paperback and ebook formats now. Okay. Now, the cool thing is with that, there's no inventory. So what happens is when you publish your paperback book, they don't actually print it until someone orders it. So you don't have to have a box of books sitting in your garage, going to the post office all the time, or things like that. But you can order author copies at cost. So, for example, my wife and I wrote a devotional for foster parents to encourage them, foster and adopted parents to encourage them to keep doing that and fostering and adopting more. It's called More Than Just Love. But anyway, so we did that, and so we ordered some copies. I think for us, our total was like $230 per copy for our author copies. So if we go to conferences and speak, we can sell them. If we wanted to send them to some bloggers or something to try and get them promoted, we could do that. So you still have that option to do that and have some inventory if you want them, but you don't have to. And then, of course, ebook format, clearly no inventory. Great support and tools. They walk you through everything. There's lots of great articles, FAQs, things like that. They have tools one's called Kindle Create that helps you to format your book, your ebook. Literally, you upload either a PDF or a Word doc, and it converts it. You can use some HTML code to format it, which is fairly simple. You can Google how to do some of that, but you really don't need it because the tools are so great as far as creating your headings. The Kindle Create actually generates a table of contents for you. They tell you how big to make a cover image. They walk you through everything. There's even a Kindle children's book creator now where you can do animations and videos and other cool things, and so it's just awesome. Works on any device. Every device, iOS, Android, web-based, so if they've got a Chromebook, has the Kindle app on it. So you don't actually have a Kindle, but there's a Kindle app. So anyone can get access to your books. You have a wider audience, and again, largest audience. Not just about the app. Most people go to Amazon to look for books and look for ebooks. And so, you get that. Lower fees. There may be someone better now, but again, after you do taxes and the fees, you still get to keep about 50% per book, which from what I have seen, as far as, again, dealing with inventory, or if you actually had a book deal and all those kinds of costs and fees, you really can't beat it. And then the other thing is free Google Ads. So let's say that you did write a Pokemon guide, and for whatever reasons in their search results, you're at least on the first page of Pokemon books. So someone goes to Google Pokemon books and you look on the side and you see an Amazon ad. That means if they click the link for Amazon, it's going to show the results for Pokemon books. And if you're in the first page, basically you get to take advantage of all the money that Amazon dumping into Google ads and those pay-per-click ads. And so you get some free advertising that way. And there's some other things and tips and tricks I can give you on that if you want to chat about it sometime. So that's just some of the reasons. So I really suggest you can look if you want to elsewhere, but I encourage you to go through that and do the Amazon process. It's super simple to set up and do that. I will tell you, if you're a school, you probably have an Amazon account. And what I did was, now granted, as technology, we order from Amazon. And so I already had it set up, and I just used that account and just synced it. And then bam, I had an Amazon Kindle account. I had to get some bank information from the business office. So it was super easy. And they know you're already a school and a tax exempt organization and all those kinds of things. But even in personal, again, it was super simple. Already had an Amazon account. Just linked it to a Kindle Create account or Kindle Direct Publishing account, KDP. So yeah, so you can look into it, but again, I say go with Amazon for these reasons and so many more. Okay, now let's get into the process. I know this isn't a really fancy slide, but I just want to again try to make this simple. You may think this isn't simple. You may think this is long-winded, but promise you should see the face-to-face presentation where I'm on 2 cups of coffee. It's a little overwhelming. So it starts with the idea. You come up with an idea. Now I encourage you with your idea, try to come up with what I call a micro niche. So you've got your big thing, almost like your market of things you think people might be interested in. That big topic, romance novels, science books, how-to guides, whatever it is. Okay, and then you narrow that down into like a niche. So specifically like biology books, how to code, whatever. And then you narrow it down even farther, like micro niche, like your little slice of the pie. Okay. Now, granted, that's going to mean less of an audience, but it's a targeted audience, which means they are specifically looking for exactly what you wrote about. So you could write a book and just make it very general, but they may come across it, and you may hit this huge extra audience, but there's a good chance they're going to gloss you over and go to someone else. But if you go to a very targeted thing, especially if it's something that not really anyone else is targeting, or not near as many people are targeting or targeting as well, then you can really hit it. One great way to figure out this idea is to go to if you search Google Keyword Tool. This is what businesses use to decide which AdWords to pay for. So again, those Google search pay-per-click ads where you click the link, people do this to figure out what people are searching. So you can see how many people are searching. Is it a low competition keyword, which means you've actually got a chance to really rank for it, but also in this case, really sell some books for it. And so you can look at that, and it might give you an idea even how to narrow it down. It also helps you with, in the Kindle, when you go to the actual publishing process, you get to set some keywords. It'll give you some keywords because usually if they're searching it on Google, they're searching on Amazon. So that might help. But you come up with your idea, you write it. And here's the big thing that I want you to realize. Most of the stuff, all it does is cost you time. And the only difference between most people and the people who are successful self-published authors, YouTubers, social media influencers, is just they decided to get up and do it. They decided that instead of sitting around and binging on Netflix, playing video games, scrolling through whatever the social media, whatever it is, they decided, I'm going to do something with my time. And I can tell you, I've seen it again and again. Time is valuable. Now, as an online entrepreneur and author, I'm obviously not super rich because I still work at a school district, okay? But I've seen that if you invest time, you get reward for it. You make money from it. It's a great thing. So the only difference is between most people and the people that you wish you were is they just decided to get out and do it. Okay. There's nothing super special about them other than they decided to do it. So we get the idea, we write it. Yes, it will take some time, but it probably won't take as much time as you think. Okay. Then we edit it. Now, you can do different things with this. I always tell people this, if you like editing, this is actually a career field to consider. I always try to throw that out to students because as someone, I write stuff we sell online, not just our book, but some other study packages and things like that. We have to pay an editor, okay, to get extra eyes on it. But you can use your friends and give them a gift card. But really, it's just about getting eyes on it. So you edit it to make sure it's good quality. Now, the nice thing is if it's not perfect, like we had our first print of books that wasn't perfect and I had to redo them, it doesn't cost you anything. You just re-upload a new file that's edited, okay? So if you want to rush it to market, not the end of the world, okay? You can fix it later if people email you and go, hey, this is misspelled or whatever. That's up to you. Edit it. Now we're going to publish it. So for the ebook, there's a Kindle Create program. Now, as I say this, the name may change of the software, but usually if you Google whatever the old software is, the new one will show up. So you can get the most recent software, okay? For right now, it's Kindle Create. Literally, you upload your Word doc. It converts everything for you into ebook format. And then you just have to go through and do some manual formatting, like making your headings, tagging your headings as a heading, like chapter 1, chapter 2, whatever. Okay. And then as you do that, it will generate your table of contents. You also have to, I think, in the ebook, you have to upload your cover image into it. And so you do those things. You set your chapter breaks just to make sure. So there is a little bit of formatting in that. There's also extra formatting if you really want to get fancy, but you don't have to. Okay, so there's the Kindle Create. You do that, you click publish, it will generate a file for you that you just upload into the Kindle Direct Publishing site. Okay, for the paperback version, all right, you will go into, you actually just create a Word doc, and then you size the, and you, with the Word doc, you have to do everything. Okay. What I mean is you have to add the page numbers. You have to create the table of contents. You have to make sure the pages line up. So if you want all your chapter ones to be on that right page, as you turn the page, or sorry, first pages of your chapters to be on the right side, you have to do all the enter to make all that line up and look nice. But then all you do is you decide what you want the trim size of your book to be, okay, which they list out all the options in the Kindle Direct Publishing site. And again, they walk you through this process. They say, what's your title? What's your description? What keywords do you want to use? Hit save, go to the next page. And so they walk you through the form. So I'm not going to show you that part. You can read directions. But you can go to the trim sizes. And I can tell what my wife and I did for our book. We got our favorite books out. We laid them out. We got a tape measure, decided which trim sizes are which, decided which one we liked. And we did that. So in the Word doc, once you've done all that, you set your trim size and literally you go to File, Page Setup, Custom Page Size, and you set your inches and your margins. I have also Googled popular font sizes and line spacing for different types of writing, and there's blogs about it that tell you if you're writing this kind of book, use this font size, this line spacing. So you can do all that. You format your paper book back, you save it. I typically save it as a PDF because sometimes if you upload a Word doc, it'll change your formatting again. PDF almost saves as an image, so it just saves you some trouble. But you do that, you get to preview it, make sure everything uploaded correctly, and then you get to set your price and publish. And when you set your price, they'll have a minimum price for paperbacks that you have to set based off how many pages did you color, things like that. They'll also show you the fees, okay? So that's it. You published it, you're a published author. It takes usually a day or less for them to approve the book, okay? And I've never had a book denied yet, but it could happen. Next, you promote it. Promote it on social media through building a following, okay? There's books on social media, but I can talk to you about it if you want to talk about a few strategies. But you just build that following so that you get word of mouth. I mean, think about Shark Tank. Most of those companies on there that have made any money built some kind of social media following by accident or on purpose or whatever. You also can do ads. I like social media ads, especially Facebook ads, because the money you spend, is pretty much going to go to people that you want to buy your books. You can look up their interests, gender, age ranges. You can set country. And so you can really target an audience that you think might want your book. Blog. So basically, go get you a domain name, install WordPress. Okay, the domain name is going to cost you $13. You can make it your name for your author name. If you're going to write more books, you can make it your book name. Again, that's another conversation. Domain will cost you about $13 a year. You can get hosting probably for $2 to $5 a month because you only need a basic, what's called a shared hosting account. That's really all you need. And you're going to install WordPress instead of WordPress theme, okay? Trust me, it's simple. And then you can blog about it. And that's another way to promote your book, okay? But also what's that's doing is not just directly promoting your book. It's making you look like an expert. That content is making you look like more of an expert, so it makes people want to buy your book more. You can also put ads on that blog, which means you're generating extra revenue, okay? Which outside of book sales. So not only are you marketing your book, but you're also generating revenue. Same thing with YouTube videos, helping you build a following, helping you promote your book, but you can also put ads on those videos and generate extra revenue. And you can use those videos to point back to your blog. Here's the other thing. Again, this only costs you time. You can actually write those blogs, use those blogs as scripts, turn them into videos. So selfie videos, right? Or whatever, or screenshot videos like I'm doing, okay? And use those blogs as scripts. So you're reusing that content and it's totally fine. Saves you time. You got some cross promotion going on. And again, you can generate revenue off of these things. Also, you can use Google Ads if you so choose to. That's a little more detailed process because depending on what word you have, it's going to cost you a different amount per click. So every time somebody clicks a link, but that is a great way to promote things as well. Okay. And Google being the number one search engine in the world by far, YouTube being the second largest search engine in the world, Facebook may be right up there now as well. you're going to get the most bang for your dollar. So that's pretty much it. Idea, write it, edit, publish it, and you can see, other than paying for Google ads and paying for social media ads, this costs you nothing but time. So this is something you can do yourself. This is something your students can do as a project. All right. So that's why I say digital publishing inside and outside the classroom. So if you're interested in being an author, I encourage you, run with that idea, outline it, start writing it, something you're passionate about. I can tell you, even though none of my books are bestsellers, there's just something cool when you hear that someone read it and enjoyed it or it helped them. And there's just something cool about it, even if it's just $15 for the month, just knowing you wrote something, someone bought it. And it's just a great feeling. Okay. And it's really cool too when you get to order an author copy and you held a paperback that you published, that was yours. Okay. So I encourage you, also as a teacher, step out. This is a great project. Now, granted, great way to suck up to the bosses. Okay. Because if they find out you're publishing books in your class, they're going to think it's so cool. All right. And if you need me to help you, if you want me to do a Skype session in your classroom, I'm totally cool with that. Love getting to talk with kids. Or if we need to do a Skype session, just me and you, and I'll make you look like the expert and you can be really cool to your kids, I'm cool with that too. But it's a great project to do, very low cost. There is a time investment. Obviously, there may be some hoops to jump through with your administration, some permission you need to get from the school board, depending on your district. But I can try to help you talk through, walk through that, make them feel comfortable as well. But I do think it's something that would be a great project for you and your students as well. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I'll be happy to help you.